And we're live.
It's like, all right, I'm out.
It's like, but anyways, we're at episode 12, part deuce of our episode 11. So I guess it's episode 11 and a half. Anyways, welcome back to Thoughts at the Spot. It's your boy, CJO.
And
Ceelos. We're back at it again, doing our thing. It's spooky season on this episode still.
It's spooky season. It's spooky season in November.
Yeah, because Christmas is around the corner.
It's already Christmas.
Well, yeah. But
it's Christmas.
It's spooky still for me because my bank account's going to go in the negative, you know.
Yeah, it's spooky for me. It's every.
So, but yeah, so this is part 2. We're going to go over some scary stories. Go over some parts that we left everyone hanging on.
It's like we're just gonna skip that. Forget all that.
It never really happened.
It never. It's like I already forgot what we were gonna talk about. So I mean, it's just carried over. It's a whole new topic, new everything.
Yeah, we're still doing our thing though here. We got the recording here through the camera and stuff because I'm like cheat like
it's the same since the last time you heard us. I don't think really nothing has changed besides.
I hit 200 pounds.
It's like I just gained weight.
I gained like 15 pounds since we started doing this.
It's the stress, man. The stress.
What else? That's about it. Catching up on anything. We are living life to the fullest. And there's
living like Larry.
Yeah, dude, we doing our thing, But anyways, so what's up, Ceelos? You gonna leave people hanging still, or are you gonna?
Well, dude, like, bring me on. Like, what happened? Like,
all right,
bring me back. I'm
he's a dad too.
It's like you gotta like bring me back into like what was I talking about?
So back on episode 11, CeeLo was talking about.
We were talking about like ghost stuff, right?
Yeah, we were talking about ghost stuff.
And then
I told you about my dreams.
Oh, yeah,
remember?
Yeah.
And how like scary they were, and religion and Jesus and all that helped me. And then we went over to you talking about getting your cards read and how most of it or some of it came true, and you're gonna share some more details about that. And then, I guess we can jump into mine. I was gonna talk about the whole what do you call those crystals? Y'all are fake.
The crystals. Those rocks. Those rocks with meanings.
I'll talk about mine so you can get a refresher about what you want to say. But I want to talk about those crystals because I see like it's a trend thing going on. I seen who has it. Don't Cancel Us too. But Ace Family, I seen them doing that with crystals.
You just say Ace Family, bro?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god, bro. I'm out.
Do you think he's gonna cancel us?
Dude, I'm gonna cancel you, bro.
I not that I watch them though, but I bring it up because I remember. So it's somewhat related, but I remember having a friend who was telling me about having this rough breakup. Or something back in high school, and they were like, oh yeah, like I have the sweater, but ever since I had the sweater of that person, it's been like bad luck with all my relationship. So I'm like, it's not the sweater, it's you. Because I told her like, and she believes in energies and all the time. Like, dude, it's not the sweater. I feel like it's my opinion, but I told her I think it's you, because there's nothing that sweater's not alive, and that's kind of the same thing as that's translating to the crystals, But to each their own. I mean, if you believe that and things are going well,
so you don't really think like the specific color of a crystal gives out some sort of vibe? Cool. Then I'm gonna return the crystals I got you
for Christmas again. But the only ones that I believe in are the diamonds, because diamonds are forever.
Diamonds and the infinity stones.
And infinity. That's the only ones. That's funny. But no, it's because I'm like, they don't. It's, I mean, you put whatever you want to believe on. It's like we can go through religion, we can go a bunch of stuff. But I feel like it's whatever you. It's like a sugar pill, You think it's helping you and possibly it's working, and then right away you're like, oh, this is the thing that's kind of causing me to have great health, have a great, money and all that. So, but that's what I want to talk about. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but that's just my thing that I wanted to.
Nah, man, I don't really ever was into that or really know much of that. I just know, I know my wife is into that and her family is into that whole crystals and stuff. But I don't really ever really was curious about it or believed in it or really know too much about it really. So to me it's just whatever, I don't really have anything on the crystals. I just know that crystals, it's just, I know that they probably have some secret, depending on the color and stuff like that, then I don't know, once just brings different
I don't know,
into your life. I don't know,
but I guess,
but yeah, I mean, it is true what you're saying. It's just whatever you believe in, people have that belief, I think, with other things too,
Yeah.
I mean, you look at horoscopes. Do you think horoscopes?
No.
Or true? I'm this, and this. Oh yeah, you're definitely a Libra.
Yeah. So you're just being a big. You're just being an asshole because you want to.
Yeah, because to me, I'm a Taurus, right? And every time I get it, it's oh, you're stubborn. And then I start trying to not necessarily defend it, but talk to it.
Yeah.
They're oh, there you go, being stubborn. Just so it's what do you mean?
Yeah.
Really, I'm not really being stubborn because I can't prove my point or try to defend it because I'm already stubborn,
Yeah.
So I can't go and be okay, no, I'm not stubborn because this, and this. No, yeah, there you go, being stubborn. You can't take being, So it's a loss, Always you take the L, but I mean, but I'm saying it's just everything else,
yeah.
So
no, it's funny you're talking about horoscopes. 'Cause I remember because I'm a Virgo, and then my spouse always oh, you're toxic. You're this.
Is that the one that no one likes?
Yeah, no one likes it. It's
Virgo?
It's you're toxic and you just lie and all this other crap. Supposedly, I don't know. I'm honest. I don't lie, cheat, or steal.
That sounds like you, bro.
But so, but I guess, I mean, it'd be better to have someone tell us why they believe on that.
It'd be cool, bro. To have an expert on horoscopes.
Yeah. Well, horoscopes.
Just come and talk about all that stuff,
what's that?
From the guy from Univision?
Yeah.
Is it Univision? I think so.
Telemundo. What was his name?
Is it Telemundo? I don't remember, but just didn't he pass away?
Oh, did he?
I think he did, dude.
Oh man, dude, that guy was funny. And I used to be waiting for my.
You just wait there, let's try to.
I was "Where's Virgo? Where's Virgo?"
It's Virgo, you're a piece of shit. You're oh damn.
It's Daddy. Is this right?
It's no, chill, bro. It just goes off on Virgo.
Oh man, there's gonna be his name in my head, but y'all people know. I'm sure y'all know that one. He used to wear different colors, purple or But yeah, it'd be good to have someone give their input on the horoscopes, or someone, I guess, an expert, not just.
I know someone that is.
You do?
I used to work with her, and she's all about that stuff. She's all about
Oh, is it the one where they say moon rising and all that other crap?
Yeah, she's very specific to the horoscope, what what time you were born, what day, what the day of the week you were born, that all that type of stuff in detail, vibes and manifesting, all that type of stuff. She's all into that.
Yeah, we should get someone that does about horoscopes, someone that's really into the crystals and kind of give us more information in detail. And the listeners, kind of being explain this is color this, or this brings you, because there's also the same thing. I know there's like those bamboo trees or those little trees that people would have as well, kind of like, oh, this one brings you money, this one brings you health, or whatever it is.
We just start our own thing, you know.
Our shirts, our merch.
Yeah,
our
like
merch
like buy this shirt and you'll be lucky for the rest of your life.
You get ladies, you get laid.
You get laid like this.
I
like
know.
you put it on, boom,
and it's coming off.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the fuck?
So
no, because I really want to know. I guess I'm not an expert. I just wanted to just bring that up and stir some,
stir some pots, bro.
Yeah,
stir some pots.
People be like, what the heck, but hey, this is just me. I just wanted to see what's up.
He's like, fuck your crystals.
But one thing is funny though, because I don't consider myself religious. So, but I do kind of have this thing with my dreams, right? Like, if I dream of someone, I kind of feel like something's wrong with them. If I dream about you and we're making out or whatever.
That's gay. It's like when I dream about you, it's like
no. But he means gay happy, but no. So
you're gay, like you're gay.
Well,
both gays.
Both, okay, nice. But no, what I mean, like, if I have a dream about a person, I right away I have to text and be like, "Yo, you good? What's going on?"
So I know you haven't dreamed of me then, because you never text me, bro. So
I do text you. Just never answer.
No, it's not even like. But it's not like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's kind of like you need like you either telling me something like, or like.
You're right.
Or something, but it's never like, "Hey, man, you." It's always like this, and this, but it's never like, "How are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's like it's always like that,
What's up?
What is it? How was it that I saw? It was like they always saying what the dog doing.
Yeah.
But they never ask how the dog is doing.
Yeah.
You know?
How you doing, Chewy?
Yeah, It's just like.
This is gonna look weird. Man. Chewy was just up in here on my crotch, and the camera's.
It's because he has 2 dogs, and he puts peanut butter.
I know.
and you didn't clean it off. So now my dog is like, yo.
Shit, what are we talking about?
Crystals, bro.
No. Past that. Oh yeah, dreams. Anyways,
oh yeah, your dreams and your gay dreams, wet dreams you have.
So crazy thing about this last dream, right? Because how I, well, not me, but my spouse we're having a boy. It's actually I had 3 dreams about
having a boy. Nah, just kidding.
It's like,
is you pregnant? Oh
yeah.
shit.
No, but I had a dream about
3
dreams about it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them was like I bit on a cupcake in my dream, and it came out blue. Kind of like the gender reveal.
Before you knew.
Before I knew.
Before you knew.
And then the second one was I was on my phone, and then some of the cannons went off, and the confetti and shit like that, and it was blue. And I think I can't remember what the other one was. I think someone was telling me like, "Hey, you're having a boy in my dream," and then.
But don't you think? I mean, I'm not an expert in this, but when you go to bed, isn't just dreaming like a subconscious of your mind wanting that?
Yeah, but
so like you were wanting to have a boy, right? And I mean,
really.
that's not saying that you were like putting it out in the world. Oh, I want a boy. But I think subconsciously you're just thinking like, oh, it'd be nice to have a boy, or to have a boy, or I mean, I already have a girl, I should have a boy, and then you just have that thought in your mind, and you just dream about it.
Well, I guess you might be right. Kind of like, let's say if I really didn't care about if it was a boy or girl, but family were like, hey, you need to have a boy.
Well, you need a boy, and you
need a boy and shit.
And you just have that in your mind, like, oh, a boy, and you're like, oh, cool. Then in your dream, you have a boy. That's why, like, people have those dreams. That's why when, I mean, I really have crazy dreams or anything like that. But, when people have dreams of like, oh, I this, and this, it's like, oh, it's because you probably went to, not necessarily sleep thinking about it, but you had that in your mind, or you were thinking about it, or you had a conversation about it, or something like that. Or it's just in the back of your mind, and when you dream of it, it just pops up, and that's why they say. I read it once that for you to like memorize stuff, you do it before going to bed. So like let's say you need to memorize a sentence or a poem or whatever, you read it before going to bed.
And then what?
And then once you wake up, it's easier for you to remember it. I don't know how or why, but that's just what I was. Like if that's one way to remember it.
What would be the benefit of that though? Like I
don't know. I guess when you're sleeping, it's just like subconsciously, I'm thinking that you're just thinking of that. So it just goes in your mind. I don't know, bro. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm no expert, bro.
It's like let's phone in. It's like Dr. Phil.
We should have like a live line, like they could just call us.
I know.
Like you guys, a bunch of bullshitters.
It's like fuck. It's like you're live. Stop. No. Yeah, I don't know. But you know, speaking of dreams, because I'm going everywhere, I got to carry this podcast again.
Dude, you're saying this nonsense,
bro. Do you believe in lucid dreams, bro?
But can you define?
Can you
give me a definition, please?
So, have you had dreams where you know you're dreaming? Or have you had dreams within your dreams? That you know you're dreaming. So you wake up from that dream and you're still dreaming, you know that's a dream.
No. So when you're dreaming, and you're dreaming of the dreaming?
No.
So you're dreaming, overall it's all a dream. And then you wake up, but you're still dreaming?
Yeah, like have you had, so there's two different, well, there's lucid dream just means, you know you're dreaming, right? So you know you're dreaming. So, but like, so for example, I had the one where which reminds me of that movie, I can't remember, but I was dreaming. I realized I was dreaming, so I pinched myself in my dream, and I woke up and I knew that still was a dream, but I wanted to stay in that dream, so I stayed in that dream.
No, I mean, I had something similar to it where it's like, I was dreaming, and then in a second dream, I guess you would say, right? Mm-hmm. You're dreaming of your dream, and then when you, like, in the verge of waking up, because I feel like, you know, when you're waking up, it's like, oh, shit, I gotta get ready for work.
Yeah.
But I'm still dreaming.
Yeah.
And then I wake up, it's like, oh, shit, it's Saturday, I don't have to work.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that I've had that experience before. But, I mean, it's nothing crazy, but yeah, I mean, I've, like, when you're dreaming, but then you're dreaming at the same time, it's weird. And then also when you're dreaming and you know it's not real.
Yeah.
Because even in my dream, one time I had this dream where I was like, I was playing the lottery, not the most recent one, I wish, but but previous before, I was just thinking that I won, you know, like in my dream I won, you know, and it seemed so real. I was like, oh, hell yeah, now I'm set, you know, and I could pay off this, I could pay off that. Yeah. It's going to be nice, you know.
You can leave my family.
It's like I'm all driving to to a lawyer, getting no, but it was just like, it felt so real, but myself in that dream was like, this isn't real. I'm dreaming.
Yeah. So you kind of was somewhat aware, but you would still wanted to go through with it.
Yeah, like but my dream version of me knew that it was a dream.
But, yeah.
You know? It was weird because it's like, this is a dream. Like, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not real.
Yeah.
And then literally, like, I woke up, like, after. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is, you know.
Look over and you see what he's like.
Yeah, I was like, damn it. But it's like, it's crazy because it's like, I dreamed of that. I mean, I really wish it was true, you know? But in the dream, it's just like, shit, I know it's, like, not real.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
I had one where I had like dreams like where I had them multiple times.
When you died?
No. Oh. Just like the same dream but multiple times in different outcomes.
Like you died. I was like, what? No, I thought you can't die in your dream. That's what.
I don't know. That's kind of strange. I don't know.
Because they were saying that you can't die in your dream. Because if you die in your dream, that means you're dead.
Yeah, really?
I think that's what I was. Dude, I wish I was. I think it was like a TikTok too, like just like, you know, people having a podcast and they were just talking about it, but they were just saying like, you don't dream of you dying because if that was the case and you were about to die.
Yeah, but
that's why when you're like dreaming and you're dreaming that you're flying, you know, you just wake up right away.
Oh yeah, I heard of something about
So
that.
I was
But the one, so what happens in my dream? I have the same dream, right? And then I know I'm like, oh, this is a dream, and this is the last outcome. And so then I do.
It's like the same dream, or like
Yeah.
you dream, but you dream of something, and then you go to sleep wanting to dream of that.
No.
Or you just happen to dream of that.
Later on. It can be like days, weeks, months.
It's like,
But I just remember.
it's like
that
your
I had
side
to-
chick you're dreaming of. It's
Yeah.
like, it's like I'm gonna dream of her again. It's like,
And no. It's like, yeah, it's like take me back to that family. No, but
it's like please.
no, it's one where, and I can kind of vaguely remember. It's kind of I guess I might have to do something with the movie or something, like it's, you know, kind of like towards the end of the world or whatever, and you're trying to get somewhere, and in that dream I don't succeed on whatever acquiring some type of equipment. So then later on, you know, like, and I'm saying not the same night, but other, what can be days, weeks, I can't remember, but I had that same dream, and I'm like, okay, I didn't make it here because I did this. Now I got to do this action to reach my goal, you know. So that's kind of the dreams that I have, and I'm like, oh, and so eventually, like, I get it, and then I guess that's once I complete what I wanted, then I don't have that dream, or maybe I do have it later on, but I can't remember exactly. But I know I had someone that's like five times, you know. And then the last recently dream within like the last month, I had one because I heard on a podcast where it's like, they're like, have you ever asked in your dream what day or what time it is? And someone in that podcast is like, no, I tried to, and then the person in my dream was like, we can't tell you that. Like,
damn, that's
You
some
can't know.
that's some spooky stuff, bro. Because it's like,
spooky season.
yeah, it's just like, yeah, bro. It's like we can't tell you that. Wake up.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn.
So
It's like, oh.
you wake up like that. But I guess because I was thinking of that, I had that dream that night.
And you asked the person in your dream?
No, I just told myself I wasn't gonna ask, but I knew I should have, but I didn't. You know, because I was like, whoa, I just remembered, and I don't want to get the answer. You know, I guess it was like too spooky to even ask. But you know, so I guess I can try and see what they say. You know?
You die, bro. Like, oh,
It's like you're dead. It's like,
like, oh, damn. No, it's crazy. But I think it's just like there's always an answer to what you're dreaming of, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, theories go with what you dream of, but they also say like when you dream of a person you've never seen in your life before, they're saying that's from your past life, and that's what you dream of.
That, dude.
Yeah, so when you dream of someone, you're like, you see this person you've never seen in your life, you don't know why.
Yeah.
They're saying that it's from your
I
past
didn't
life.
know that shit.
So it's from your past life that's why you see that. But I mean, I'm not saying that's true or not, but that's it's crazy.
How
And then,
would you know?
I know. How would you know?
Yeah.
And then it's like, but yeah, like when you were saying is like you have that same dream, that has happened to me too. Like when I have the same dream, different, like we're talking about like years and months apart, and it's the same dream, but it's like a continuous of the previous dream, you know? So it's not like it's in the same setting, but a different story. But it's a continuous of the dream, and it happened to me not too long ago. I remember when I was younger, I would dream. It was more of a scary dream, but it was like I was in this house, and the house was haunted, and you just dude, why are you playing an alarm, bro? Oh yeah, because you're thinking.
Because this is a dream.
I was like, oh, you just wake up. Oh shit,
bro.
he just got mind fucked, bro. Damn. He was like, oh shit, what?
You wake up, you're
It's
in
like-
bed, bro.
I was like, oh, that'd be crazy.
It's like, stop. He's like, keep going. Haunted house.
It's like, oh shit. Nah, but it's like, it was my house, and I think it was when I was first buying my first home. Mm-hmm. You know, the excitement of it, but whatever. But it was just like buying the home and being haunted, like, you know, like those movies where it's like possessed and all that type of stuff, and whatever. A scary dream, you know, and when you have those dreams, you know, when you're trying to run away but you really can't.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, that type of dream. And recently I had the same dream, and it was like it was like, oh, I know what to do now. Like this is what I gotta do to like defeat this ghost or whatever. But it was a continuous of that, like, oh, this is what happened in my previous dream.
You woke up from the previous one, so you never really finished.
Yeah, so it was like, but now I know what to do when I had this dream. I was like, oh, I've been in this dream before, and I've seen this before, and I know what I got to do, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why you would call that or why, or what that means, but
yeah, we need a sleep expert.
Yeah, no, it's like it just means that you're like stressed out.
And no, that's interesting, dude. I guess it's all different dreams, you know. I don't know. I feel like sometimes, like, man, is this something special? Like, am I in the Matrix that I can control my dreams? You know. But then I hear people say, well, if you're thinking about it before you go to bed, which I don't see myself thinking about. How you said, right? You mentioned that.
Yeah, I mean,
thinking about your conscience, but I don't really feel myself.
But it's not like necessarily like, oh, you're thinking of it and then you go to sleep and then you dream of it. I don't think it would necessarily is like that's how it works. I just think that it's literally on the back of your mind. Like you thought about it at one point. Like right now we're having this conversation. Not necessarily that you're gonna go to bed thinking of it, but you're gonna like it's in the back of your mind somehow. And when you go to sleep with it, you're gonna have like this whole dream of that potentially, you know.
Well, it says here. I know I was reading one. It says lucid dreams. It says lucid dreams are most common during rapid eye movement, so your REM sleep, right? When you go to sleep, are you able to knock out like that and start dreaming?
Mm-mm.
So
no. For
me, I do. Like that's like for me, I can take like a 25-minute power nap.
So when you're going to sleep, you know, are you dreaming of falling asleep, or are you just closing your eyes and you just pass out?
I pass out and I'm already dreaming. And I know like when I take like power naps, 25, 30 minutes because I put it on my phone.
You take power naps?
I do.
Oh, loser, bro.
No, but when I take those, I start dreaming already.
When I take power naps, like then I wake up and have my fruit snacks.
Yeah,
it's like and my chicken nuggets, my dinosaur chicken. Like what power naps, dude? How old are you, my guy?
Don't worry about it.
No, my son takes power naps, bro.
No, dude, I'm a busy person. No, what I'm saying though, like, is when I take those, like, I'll just take naps. All right,
it's like nap time. Oh, okay.
I'm able to sleep within that time, and I still wake up before my alarm goes off. So, like, let's say I put 30 minutes, I wake up in 25. But I know I dreamt and I feel rested. So, anyway.
So, can you dream for a minute and dream of being rested? You wake up and you're rested?
Yeah.
Nah, that can't work that way.
I know that I'm rested. That's all I need. But so anyway, so it said for lucid dreams, you need to go into that REM sleep right away, which that's pretty much what I do. Mm-hmm. So you usually enter your REM about 90 minutes after falling asleep, and it lasts about 10 minutes. But I go into my REM sleep right away. So like it says that not many people do that. It also says the benefits of lucid dreams is you have less anxiety. You have better motor skills, so that's why I fucking drive on my phone and
it's why I text and drive.
Watch
TikTok.
Improve problem solving. Like I got issues, and then that
doesn't sound nothing like you, bro.
And I'm more creative.
Yeah, that is not you, bro.
Dude, that's me.
No.
Dangers of lucid dreams: less sleep quality, and then confusion, delirium, and hallucinations. Like this isn't real.
This isn't real.
I mean, there's ways to. This is wake back to bed. This is how you have lucid dreams. But it's crazy though. It's pretty much saying that you just go on into your REM sleep right away, and then you get out of it. And that's how I feel I'm able to do those type of. But yeah. So, anyways, I feel that's kind of that's crazy though. Like having those dreams and different types of dreams and just I don't know, dude. It kind of also makes me think about the other thing I listened to about DMT, that drug. Have you heard of DMT?
I don't know anything about drugs.
You drug free?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You
there? I wasn't there twice.
You wasn't there twice?
I wasn't there twice.
Like once in elementary and once in high school.
Yep.
No, like DMT is this drug that your hallucination lasts 10 minutes, bro.
Okay.
But they say in that hallucination, years go by that you created a so this, for example, someone was talking about it that their friend took DMT, which is that drug, which is also, I think, a natural in your system. It's something, but it was this drug, and within those 10 minutes, he had created his own life, his own family, in that hallucination. And the only reason he came out of that hallucination phase is because he died in that in that hallucination process.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got out of it, he was like, "Where's my family? Where's my kids? Where's so and so?" But they never really existed. He was just having that episode. So they're saying what happens is now that kind of distorts the reality, and you know what's reality and all that, because then you're like, was that life real? And this is my dream, or what is it? You know.
Mm.
So that just, to me, it's like, fuck. Like, imagine just creating a whole family and.
That'd be nice, bro. Just like, you know, just like, he's like, hey, I'm going to sleep to see my other family.
Y'all are too much over
yeah,
here.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna go.
It's like the other one, I won the lottery.
Yeah, I'm a lottery winner. It's like I'm dating whoever, I'm married to whoever, and you know, it's like
she allows me a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That's funny.
Fucking crazy stuff, dude. People shit come up with, and but yeah, that's my portion, dude. Of fucking dreams and crystals and
dreams,
drugs.
Doing drugs.
So what's up, bro? You wanna
but no
scary stories or what?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about the scary stories.
In November.
Doesn't hit the same, but whatever. No, but before I get into the scary stories, I just wanted to bring up where I left off. In part 1, you would say. I mean, we still had a lot of time left. We just decided to cut it short to make a part 2. Because, like, hey, this is cool. Let's make it a part 2. But then we made it for too long. It was like we recorded that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. So it's not like, doesn't hit the same either, but whatever. But we were talking about like, I don't know if we say we were talking about like.
Well, I was talking about palm reading because
yeah, you were talking about palm readings.
I never did it,
but we were like talking about like us growing up and my mom growing up, and we had this person that did witchcraft. You know.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like they were doing witchcraft and stuff like that, and black magic and stuff. You know, I don't know if you believe in that, but us Hispanics, we grew up a lot in that. You know, and reading our cards is something normal.
Yeah.
It's not out of the ordinary. So I had my cards read like before I got married. And I remember this lady was telling me about my spouse now, saying that how we were going to be together. Like, she pretty much insinuating that this was the one for me.
Okay.
And I know she's lying. so I know she's BSing. It's like, I know she's BSing. No.
It's like, for real, where's the real?
Yeah. No, but she was saying like stuff like that. And then at that time, my dad had left for Mexico. That was like he left to Mexico.
Yeah. And
I wasn't. We weren't expecting him to ever come back. You know, because in our case, you really don't come back. You know, once you go to Mexico, you really don't come back.
Yeah.
But this lady told me, she was like, your dad's gonna come back, and he's gonna, like, no one's gonna know that he's gonna come back. Like, it's no one's really gonna know. Like, your family's not gonna know that.
But did she know that? Okay, did you mention any portion that he was leaving?
Well, I never mentioned anything to this person. And I mean, I'm assuming like someone from my family, my mom probably told her before the session. I mean, that's what I would think.
Because sometimes it's the skeptical part, right?
Yeah,
it's like, someone.
It's like, hey, I'm about to get married, right? And then they start saying, oh, well, the person you're gonna get married and it's gonna be amazing, blah blah blah. You know, they're just taking that lucky guess, you know.
Yeah.
But for this lady, you know, most of the things that she did, I thought they were BS, right? But I think when she started talking to me about like my dad, like I said, he was saying that. There was no way for him to come back. Realistically speaking, there's no way for him to come back.
Yeah.
You know, his legal status is not where it needs to be, so he couldn't come back.
Yeah.
Right? So we weren't really thinking that. But this lady was like, well, he's gonna come back, and he's not gonna let anybody know, but he's gonna call you to tell you that he's coming back, and that you'll be the first one to know. So, and then pretty much insinuating that you're the one that's gonna pick him up from the airport and all that type of stuff. You fast forward, I think it was like 4 or 5 years. I mean, and it comes true. Like, my dad literally, calls me and tells me, "Hey, I'm going back to the United States. This is the time I fly in. If you could come pick me up." And no one really knew. Like, I told my mom, I told my siblings, and they didn't even know. They were like, "Oh, how can he come back? Like, how?"
Yeah.
And that, to me, that was just crazy. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it a lucky guess or coincidence, whatever. But the fact that she guessed that correctly, or it played out that way, it's crazy. So,
no, that's crazy.
I mean, and at the time, probably for listeners and stuff like that, like, well, big deal, But at the time of the happening, it was just a little bit mind blowing to me. So, I'm not saying I'm a believer in that now, but I'm just saying that it's just things like that happen, I guess.
Yeah. Which is, it's like I heard people say, oh, it's because when you get, because I have family members that got their cards read and all that, and it's just like, did it happen because you wanted to force yourself into that to happen? But I mean, in that situation, it has nothing to do with you, and all has to do with your dad.
Yeah, like
your dad calling you and picking him up and all.
Yeah, because it's not like I reached out to my dad and told him, hey,
you gotta come here because
No, I mean, we just never brought up, and it just happened to be, I mean, it literally just happened to be. But I get what you're saying, I mean, when people read your palms, I could be like, hey, dude, I can read your palms, or I can read your cards, and I tell you, hey, you're gonna win the lottery, or you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and then you are looking for that now. Yeah, you're gonna start playing the lottery every week now. Yeah, or whatever, and then if it happens, you're gonna be like, oh my god, he was right,
But I mean, that's kind of like what kind of pushed you, encouraged you to do it, because you were told, hey, you're gonna win, and let's say you win, but it's like $10. Hey, you won. Hey, you won. I didn't say how much.
Yeah. Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And it just.
But I mean, it's just how you perceive it. I mean, and some people are mind blown by it. Yeah. It's like, oh, this person said the next person I meet, I'm gonna fall in love with. Yeah. You're thinking of that, right? So the next person you meet, you're more invested in this person, or you're more thinking like, oh shit, this person's one for me. Yeah. But you already, it's like.
Yeah, I'm very, very skeptical about that, but I know my spouse, she kind of
regrets marrying you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought we were going with that.
No. I was going to tell you she told me she loved me. I was going to say that she kind of believes certain things, Yeah. And I'm not against that. Like, it's whatever, to each their own. For me, like, the whole future stuff or manifesting and all that. Like,
do you manifest?
No, I don't manifest.
Or do you believe in manifesting?
No. Okay, so this is my thing, right? I have a whiteboard, and on my whiteboard I put stuff that I want to accomplish, right?
A goal,
like goals. So means it's, and so far I've done it, right? Like TikTok, podcast, whatever the stuff is, Some people might perceive it, or you might have some listener of yours like, that's manifesting, because you're putting it on somewhere and it's coming true or whatever. But I don't. For me, I just put it.
Is it more like a to-do list though?
It's kind of like my vision board, like what shit that I want to get done.
But I think manifesting has to come a little bit more deeper than that, right? Like it just can't be something simple like that. Like, I mean, I'm saying that your accomplishments are simple. I
was like, wow.
It's like this accomplishments.
The trash.
It's some easy stuff, man. Start a podcast, start a TikTok, bro. No, just kidding. I'm just giving you shit. No,
because
I'm not talking shit on what your accomplishments are. I'm just saying. I mean, it could be like something simple like that, I'm taking out the trash out, blah 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 blah. But that's not saying that you're manifesting, though.
But that would be a to-do list, though.
And same thing. If you consider it starting a podcast or doing a podcast, that's kind of like you a to-do list or a goal. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna have a podcast, blah blah blah, this time.
Yeah.
Manifesting would be like, my podcast is gonna be successful, and then during this time, and blah 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 blah. You know, more
details of like how many.
Like, I want it to be successful, where I get like potentially can get endorsements, or you know, have a lot of listeners, and it leads to this. That could potentially be manifesting because you're going more in detail of what you're doing. Or like when you like my TikTok, I'm gonna start a TikTok, and I'm seeing that I'm gonna have a million followers by this day, and blah 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 blah, whatever. You know, and that's more of manifesting that, because you're putting it into something and you're putting it out to the world, and hopefully it comes true. Yeah, you know. So like in your case, where it's like starting a TikTok or starting a podcast, not necessarily that you're not manifesting that, but it's more of a to-do list or a goal that you're setting for yourself. Yeah. So I think that's...
Yeah, and I thought for some reason, because I know there's some people that actually do manifesting, and they're like, dude, that's manifesting. And I'm like, well, actually, it's just my goal. Like, I feel like a bunch of ideas that I got coming in, like, I have to write it down, and then I have to keep it somewhere close where I can see it, you know? Because if I just have it on, like, you know, somewhere where on my phone or something... I mean, I have to go through an app just to see it. But if I have it there when I'm working, when I'm editing, when I'm doing all this other stuff, I'm always right there, you know. But yeah, it's just like, and for me, all I'm doing is like, oh, check, I got this done, you know. And it's like kind of like keeping make sure I'm on that vision that I wanna. But I don't know. So I guess it's not really. I guess for you, like you said, it would just be a to-do list or something like a goal. And that's what for me it was just a goal.
I mean, that's the way I see it, but you know, I don't really manifest it. I mean, I do believe in manifesting. Kind of like what I believe is kind of what you put out in the world is kind of what you perceive. Like, just like if you're a positive person and you are positive, I think positive things happen.
But wouldn't that be karma?
I mean, yeah. I mean, in the case, you know, if you're a negative person, then negative things will happen. Yeah. You know, when you're constantly thinking of bad things, then that's when bad things happen. You know, so I do kind of believe in manifesting too. You know, I mean, it's the same concept, right? You're thinking of something, you point it out in the world, and hopefully it comes true. You know, so I think that I do believe in that. I'm not saying that I do manifest, or I do, but I do think that's
no, and I know because I have a buddy I follow on Instagram, and you know, he manifests. He kind of puts on like 3 things that he wants to do, like. And he wants to, let's say, for example, he's a realtor. He wants to sell homes. He's like, I'm gonna sell these many homes because I don't know. I guess I have to look at the list exactly what, but it's a day manifesting, day journal, and day stuff, you know. And for me, it's just like I guess I need to all these stuff like. Does that even work? Because if it's a day journal, let's say you're not accomplishing anything that day, and you keep pushing it back, adding in next day, yeah. Fucking a month goes by, 2 months go by, and you're like, oh shit, I got number 1, but I still number 3, you know, 2 and 3, you know. I don't know how all that works, but yeah, I just have a vision board, and that's kind of like what I've been sticking through, and it's been helping me out. On there, I do have harder tasks like, you know, creating an app, you know, but technology stuff that I want to do, but slowly kind of connecting the dots on that, you know.
Yeah, bro. I mean, to that, creating an app is not hard. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's so simple. It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't even know. I'm just giving you shit. But yeah, dude, I think it all depends on the person. You know, what we're saying is just people view it differently. Yeah. People are like that. People just, you know, always on their journal writing. Could be manifesting. It could just be like, I just do this just to keep me on track for the day, or for my month or whatever, you know. Yeah. So I just think how it's being perceived. But yeah, dude, that's all I got.
All right, just scary stories on part 3.
Part 3, and then when we do part 3,
here's
then
the
we're gonna
Scary Story podcast.
Okay, Siri.
What the heck, dude?
Okay, Siri. Oh, dude, that was crazy.
Do you see that? It's spooky.
Hey there, it's me, Edwin, from Scary Story Podcast. And I want to tell you about the hit podcast, Cold.
Dude, you hear that? We're joining podcasts, bro. We're bringing a podcast to a podcast.
Now I got to edit that because you're going to be like, what the heck was... Dude, that's freaky. I didn't even say... Did I say Siri?
No, we didn't say Siri. I think it just picked it up. You can't edit that, though, dude, because it's going to look weird, though. Yeah. Because we're talking about it.
They're like, dude, now we are.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it. I mean, but it is weird, though. That came out of nowhere.
Scary podcast.
Yeah, that's weird. Damn, dude, I don't want to talk about these scary stories no more.
All right, scary stories part 3. Just kidding. No, dude.
Are you gonna do it part 3?
No, there's no.
Well, I mean, we're already like, almost an hour in.
Yeah, we can keep going.
I'll just wait 15 minutes, not say nothing. Just kidding. Just kidding.
And then we cut.
No, so you want me to bring this in now?
Yeah, we can bring it in.
I mean, it's. I guess do you want to go through all of them though? It's 11. I mean, the point of this, we were gonna talk about this during Halloween, so it's gonna like, for you Halloween enthusiasts, like it was gonna like, hit the spot. You know what I mean? Well, and now in November, it just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, then I guess we don't.
But I mean, I'm still like, there's some crazy people in the world. I mean, maybe they still want to listen to these.
But then. Okay, I guess what we can do though, let's make that part 3. Not even part 3, but let's just do it.
Part 3?
Let's just do it for
just episode. Disregard episode 11 and episode 12 where we mentioned scary stories.
No, because I think we had great topics. I feel like adding those scary stories.
Dude, all I'm saying is you gotta invest in better headphones, bro. This is starting to hurt my ears. Oh man. Sorry, but go on.
This guy fucking wants bougie ass headphones like we've been talking.
Dude, it's not like bougie. It's not even bougie. It's just better quality. Dude, it hurt my ears, man.
Dude, what you got against me, bro?
Yeah.
But anyways,
you should put that in your vision board.
You dick. She never told you that. As a matter of fact, I got it here. Yeah, dude.
You make the call, bro. You're our tech guy.
Let's give it a second.
Just like we're trying to kill time.
No, we can add it. Let's just make this longer because we can just kind of go see from there.
But do people even listen this long though?
I'd listen this long.
Do you? I've already been like doing something else.
No, because either way, I'll when I put it on YouTube,
you just put snippets of it though. I know.
I put snippets, but the audio is just like, stay tuned for more.
I guess I could start and then we'll carry over. We'll continue.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That way we don't make it too long because I don't want to make
the CEO over here. So you're the boss, bro.
Me?
I
got promoted. Hell yeah! You're fired then.
It's like I'm moving on without you.
It's like pack up, bro. You're going home.
Dang.
Nah, cool. I guess there's 11 stories from Reddit that I found. Like I said, it was supposed to be during Halloween. Yeah, they were found by Reddit, not by me. So don't sue me. I'm not taking credit for these. Cool. So I guess I'll just, give
my story. Gotta tell them, dude. Just go into it.
My story telling voice. You gotta put the sound, dude.
Which one?
Spooky season. Cool. So I was camping with my husband and his family at
this is the story now because he doesn't.
Well, you told me not to say it though.
Oh yeah. But you were like getting into detail. You're like, oh, go. Anyways, go.
You just ruined it.
All right.
I'm done. Cut it. Nah, but so here's the story. I was camping with my husband and his family at a small remote lake in New Mexico. There were about 10 people in our group and another group of 6 people in the next campsite. It was nighttime. Dude, I feel weird reading this story, I feel like, when you're reading those books and you're driving.
Yeah.
I always hated that shit, and now I feel like I'm doing it. But carry on. It was nighttime, and both groups were doing typical activities, making s'mores, having a few drinks, and telling stories, when we all heard what sounded like a little girl yelling out for help. Neither group had children with them.
Hell no.
But we were all positive we were hearing a little girl and decided to search the area. We heard the noises from together. First of all, I wouldn't go. Like when you hear little girl voices.
Yeah.
Why would you go try to figure out? What are you, Ghostbusters? You just chill.
Like, what do you...
You just try to deny it, bro. You just like, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
You're good. When you're in denial, bro, you don't want to I didn't hear it. I heard that.
I would just ignore it. I would put on some AirPods. And it's
like, I didn't hear anything. But
anyways,
there was a field behind our campsite, and we saw a very tall, pure white figure standing maybe 10 maybe 100 feet away from us in the field, making the noises. We all agreed that this thing looked maybe 6 feet tall, skinny, and white as can be. We made our way closer to investigate, but whatever it was that we started backing off, as soon as we got closer, and it disappeared into the trees. All night we continued to hear little girl calling for help as we tried to sleep. That's the end of the story.
You know what's crazy though? Like, let's say you ignore it, right? Because you're like, I'm freaked. But what if it's something? It is a little girl asking for help because something's going on. Like, what do you do in that situation?
Well, I mean, if it's not scary, or you, or is it actually like someone needing help?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if it's someone needing help, then you go. But if it's late at night and then you go closer to the sound and you're like, okay, yeah, there's no anyone needing help, but you're still hearing that, then you don't really do anything.
But think about it though, like, you know, like people kids getting kidnapped, right? As you're getting closer,
I mean, you'll be able to see, bro. Like, if someone getting kidnapped, you'll be able to see, like, the car probably pulling away or whatever, or some sort of evidence that something did happen, versus you go to the event that is happening and you don't see anything or evidence of anything that happened. It's scary, you know?
Yeah.
Like, at that point, you just can't ignore it or go to sleep.
Yeah.
I would just leave. First of all, we wouldn't be camping, bro. We didn't even camp.
You never gone camping?
I've never gone camping, bro.
Dude, this is creepy. Oh, dude. Which, really quick, it brings me up. So, at our home, dude, we hear, Laura and I, like my spouse and I, we can hear like our daughter crying or laughing.
At your house?
At our house.
But she's sleeping. Or she's awake.
No, what happened where, like, it can be like, oh, someone's moving upstairs. And we're thinking like, oh shit, or you know, she's crying. So I go upstairs and she's passed out, like she's sleeping. She's, you know, sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's times where she's downstairs, you know, while we're getting ready or whatever. If we're gonna go out, let's say it's the weekend, and then we hear her crying noise, and we're like, what's up, you know? So I have the camera, turn the camera, and I see her just on her iPad or whatever. And then I'm like, hey, did you call me? She's like, no. Like. It's freaky though.
That is freaky.
You know? And so I'm like, what the heck? Kind of just freaked out about it.
But you both noticed that. Like,
and we both noticed that and stuff like that. And so I'm like, is it her? And it's one time recently ago, like this week, my daughter was in the shower, and all of a sudden we hear like a sobbing, crying, you know.
Like you genuinely sound both of sobbing.
Yeah, and we're like, oh shit, she's crying for something, you know, in the shower. So we both go like, hey, you good? Were you crying? She's like, no.
Dude, your house is definitely
spooky,
haunted, bro.
Yeah. So I don't know. But anyways, that's kind of made me think about that. That's crazy, though.
Dude, we're going to take our podcast to your house at 3 a.m.
Oh, hell.
And we're going to, like, just everything blacked out.
You know what sucks
about this? And then we'll do an investigation.
Is that we're having this conversation and I have to drive back home, you know?
Well, I don't think that's the scary part, bro, because the activity's happening inside your home.
But yeah, but I'm driving past, like, you know, a road that's, like, dark as hell, you know? But anyways.
I think the car's the safest way, or the safest place to be at during paranormal activity stuff.
You think so?
I mean, paranormal-wise, I mean, if you're getting murdered by somebody, then
I'm not going to swerve off and fall off somewhere, or, like, the cliff or something.
Yeah, no, I think you're good.
I don't know about you that, but...
I mean, some of these stories are long, bro. I don't know.
Well,
I just read one, bro. You already trying to cut it?
No. I'm just trying to... I just had something to add to that. That's it.
Oh, what do you want to say?
But I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of hard to say, like, if we... Let's say we, as a family, you and I and our spouses were camping, not that it would ever happen.
Yeah, I don't camp.
But I would tell you, let's go investigate it.
What?
Dude.
Why?
Because we have to see if it's actually a person or not.
First of all right, bro. Let me paint you this picture, bro. Tell me if this makes sense. You're camping, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying, don't judge me for this, but if someone's screaming out for help and it's at night, and let's just say it's genuine. Let's just say it's an actual person asking for help. Why the hell would we go to where that person's asking for help? Yeah, we should go help them. That would be the right thing to do. But whatever is really happening to this person, you got to consider it like, okay, this person's being attacked by whatever. It could be a bear. It could be a mountain lion, whatever. Mm-hmm. Why the hell are we gonna go put ourselves in that position?
Well, if we're like camping and we don't do anything help, how would we know that? I mean, I guess you start assuming and stuff like that. How would we know that that's not gonna happen to us?
That's what I'm saying.
Would we just pack up and go?
Yeah. And we never talk about it again.
we're back home the next day.
It's like, in the news, someone died.
Say someone died, and these campers
just left. But I mean, in all seriousness, yeah, you would want to go check it out. Yeah. But let's be real, like, you're gonna be scared.
Yeah.
Especially when it's late at night, dude. Yeah. I mean, if it's during the day, it's not different. Like, yeah, let's go check it out and see what's going on. This person needs our help. But when it's like you're sleeping or it's at midnight, 1 a.m, dude, are you really gonna go check that out?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, bro, I wouldn't go check that out. I'd be like, bro, I didn't hear anything.
Like, go back to sleep.
That's funny. I'm just reading these stories, man. Like I said, for you scary stories enthusiasts.
Let's read this one right here. The Demon's Room. Let's get the scary ones out of the way.
Dude, I'm just going through it to make sure there's no big words where I can't pronounce. That's what I used to do in school, bro. When the teacher's calling you out and stuff as you're reading, and they read a sentence, and then they call a different person to read another sentence, I would read ahead to make sure that I could read the sentence.
And what happened if you didn't? Would you just pass?
No, like I would try to like.
Oh, try to figure out that word.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want. I didn't want to look like a fool, bro. I mean, and English is my second language. Let's just make that clear to everyone.
Before you start hating, have the light skin, but
before everyone starts like going at me, like English is my second language, and I was just always scared of being called on and not be able to read a word. But okay, this story is called "The Demon's Room." Come on, bro. Cue the thing.
Oh, dude. Okay. Bro. Okay, I was like, okay,
it's
do it again.
The Demon's Room. Nice.
Dude, I told you we need Monica or Melinda, whatever her name is.
It's Mindy. The Demon's Room. I worked as a forensic nurse in a hospital's lockup unit. We had one older lady who swore she was being haunted and abused by a demon she would call Tiberius. So many crazy things happened while she was on the unit. We'd go into the room, do normal care, leave, and seconds later she started screaming bloody murder. We'd run into the room to find her looking like she's been in a fight with the boxing champ. Bloody lip, black eye, marking all over her body. No one ever saw her doing this stuff to herself. Things would get moved around the room by themselves. At one point she was in protective restraints because the doctor thought she was hurting herself. There was no way she could have moved or done anything to herself while in these restraints. But new marks would also appear on her tray cart would be across the room. The room was secure, so there was no way someone was doing this. When we asked her questions, she'd just say it was Tiberius. I think I'm saying that right. But after she was discharged, we always had trouble with that room. It was there. If there was going to be a rapid response or code, it happened in that room. One night, a guard reported lights blinking on and off. It was that room. It's over.
Damn. Yeah, dude. I think that's crazy.
So, do you think it's just like that room itself is haunted? So whoever goes in that room.
I think it might. Yeah, them. You know, as a religious, no, I can just say I'm not a religious person, but someone, it's like you gotta know there's things like that, demons and angels and all that. But it might have something to do with that room, dude. I mean, I think it might be that person was not very spiritual in a way, and was attacked more than like that security guard, because who knows what exactly. But that's just freaky, dude. Because I mean, if that was going on, like, what would you do? You go in, like, let's say you're working at the hospital, you're the manager there, or whatever, and you're looking at the camera,
and you just see shit,
happening, or the camera just goes off or whatever the fuck, and the camera goes back, like, what do you do?
I'm out, dude.
And then all of a sudden you have to go in there to help.
Fuck that.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like fuck that person. They're screaming. Sorry.
you know.
Good luck. No, but it's just like. I mean, it goes back to what happened in that room.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if someone like died horrifically, pretty bad. Don't you think, like, not necessarily the spirit of that person, but like the vibes of the place, it's just off.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never experienced paranormal activity, but have you ever experienced like going into an area where it's like colder than than the other areas?
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Or a feel of sense of like something's just not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, not saying that area is haunted, but I do think like spiritually there's something off about that area. And then in this room, it could be that maybe something happened. I mean, and it all becomes to religious, but if you believe in demons, where demons are meant to like capture a soul.
Yeah.
So demons are the ones that could hurt you.
Yeah.
It could be something like that, but
which is crazy.
But to me, the crazy part to me is like, for example, in this place where it's like either a hotel or, in this case, it was a hospital. Why just that one room? Why couldn't it be the room next to that? I mean, we're talking about a vicinity where it's like close to each other.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't paranormal activity happen in the other rooms or in the hallway? That's just my only question when it comes to that type of stuff. I mean, like I said, I never experienced that, but if it was something like that, then why wouldn't it happen somewhere near?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it could be anything. Like it can be like someone that died or someone that was just had just this negative, energy. Like it can be, was so far away from being religious to just I don't know. It could be anything, but I think at that point you just close off that whole unit and then just, create a new one or something. Because that's just freaking crazy, dude. I don't know. I wouldn't go in there, though.
I got 3 more stories, and then we'll cut it, and then I don't think we'll continue the scary stories after this. Yeah. So, no. But I think these are just interesting. Here's another story. After we moved into our home, we were told a woman had died there at the hands of her abusive husband. She hated men. My dad would wake up with scratches all over himself, and whenever my brother was mean to my sister or I, he would have scratches on him as well. One day my brother hurt our sister. He hit her with something. When he woke up later that night, he had a horrible bloody nose. The day we moved out, my brother accidentally broke his twin's arm trying out a wrestling move. He swears that he would have died that night if it wasn't our last in that house.
Oh, dude, that'd be freaky, dude.
That one gave me kind of the chills a little bit.
Yeah.
Dang, imagine just like waking up and you have unexplained scratches or unexplained.
Yeah.
That's a trip.
You know what's crazy too? Thinking about that, and for me, like, my house. You know how they say you know what they say, right? Why people wake up from 3 a.m. to 5.
Yeah, that's when paranormal is at its highest.
Yeah, right.
The peak of
yeah, and that's usually the times that I wake.
You wake up.
Mm-hmm. And we don't even have a nightlight, right? But my spouse likes to sleep with the door open.
You sleep with the door open, bro?
Yeah.
Damn, that was scary, bro. I had to sleep with the door closed.
No, so the reason I have it closed and I told her is because I like two reasons. Is someone breaks in, they're gonna have to get through that door before they can get to us. If they break in, the alarm goes off. By the time I look up, that person's already standing there, Well,
yeah, that's why you won't have the door closed.
Yeah, that's why we had the door closed, right?
Yeah.
The other reason, too, is I feel like my daughter can just walk out and fall on the stairs or whatever it might be, right? So that's 2 reasons.
Yeah, so why do you sleep with the door open?
I don't know, she just sometimes, because it gets too hot in our room sometimes, and she's like, I gotta open the door, and I'm like, Okay.
For me, I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but for me, I can't sleep with the door open because I wear contacts and I'm blind.
Yeah.
So when I just wake up fast or wake up, like I already see blurry things, so I'm already making shit in my mind. You know?
Oh, okay.
So I just already thinking like someone's standing outside. I just don't want to think that, you know. So I just close the door, and I typically have to have some sort of light on. Either it's a night light, TV on, something like that. Just because it's scary, bro.
Yeah.
It's just psychology, man.
No.
You think that you just like psychology. It's like
and I feel like
psychological. You're thinking of something scary, so I'm just like, I just not rather think that, even though like I know there's probably nothing, but I can't distinguish that because I'm blind. So to me, when I wake up and it's dark, like I don't know, because of the type of thing that my eyes have, that it just makes out like a blur.
Oh yeah. I'm not that blind.
So I just think that,
yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's scary to think
the thing about me too is I have my glasses and I keep them close to me. Because like there's been times where like we hear something and I'm like, oh shoot, you know, and it's not nothing scary, but it can be like the dog's barking, right?
Dude, that's scary, bro. I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything?
I think anything that you hear in the middle of the night, whether it's like something falling, something like dogs barking or whatever, is something's up. Yeah. Or something that made that sound has happened.
Yeah.
So that's already scary, bro.
But see, that's not what I think, because like there's times when my dog barks, right, and we turn on all the cameras at night, and I look and I'm like, oh, she was barking, and I look and it happens that my neighbor had people over and they're leaving, so she starts barking because she hears the cars, you know.
Yeah, but see, something did happen though.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
though,
there's something alerted your dog to where it's like, okay, I'm a bark, and I woke you up.
Yeah.
For me, like if that was to happen, like my dog's like, okay, something happened. Either they heard something outside, or they heard something. The dogs from our neighbor let the dogs out, but something happened to where the dogs had to bark. I think you're alarmed, either because you're sleeping, right? You wake up, you don't think, oh, my neighbor is having a party.
Yeah.
You're trying to think like, oh, maybe someone is close to the house, or, you know, especially when it's late at night.
Yeah.
You would think that, you know. But yeah, that's just my thinking.
Yeah. That's just yeah. And for me, I was kind of, I guess I tried to see like, okay, this is what it might be, instead of like freaking out, you know, because I don't freak out. But if my spouse does, then I'd be like, all right, I'll go check, you know. But it's not then like, oh my gosh, like this is like super scary because I feel, you know, like a ghost or something. No, it's just like, if it's a person, like what's up, you know. But yeah, like it's stuff that I'm like, I check, or the dogs. And it's always like, you know, we live on the backside is not like a main road, but like it's like it's like a road where a lot of cars go by. And so I have all these cameras because I'm like, easy, someone can jump over the wall, you know. And so I have to make sure my doors are locked. I have to make sure all this is locked and be prepared. But other than that, I don't know, like I'm okay with sleeping, and then when I do wake up and I look at the time, I'm like, fuck, it's either 3 or it's either 5.
It's like 3 in the morning. You're like, something's going on.
But even on that point, I don't even turn on the lights.
You don't?
Like if I have to go pee, like if I woke up because I have to go pee, like I just go into the bathroom and that's it, you know. And the way mine's set up, it's kind of like here, right? So my bed, like where you're at, it's kind of my bed, you know, like where I sleep.
Yeah.
And then that door, where that door is at, that's like the bathroom and closet area. But I don't think, like, I don't look over there and be like, oh man, something over there. For me, it's just like, oh, that's the bathroom, I gotta go. But if I look at the door and the door's open over there, and I'm like, oh shit, someone's gonna come through there, so I'll just close it, you know. I'll let it open and then I'll close it. But yeah, that's kind of my
Nah, bro, I try to avoid waking up at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, for me, it's just something simple. It's like I just tell her, I wake up, you know, my spouse, I'm like, hey, I had a bad dream, or
can you hug me?
Can you hug me? I want to be the little spoon, you know.
And she's like, nope.
And there's times when she wakes up, and then I'm like, yeah, sure, well, you know, whatever.
Yeah, for me, it's like when I have like recent, like I don't know if you remember when you know that time when my phone was going off and it kept saying every person. Yeah. One time it went off and it was around that 3, 5 time area, and I don't know why I just woke up and I just looked at the video and I didn't see anything, nothing like where you're like, oh shit, I didn't see anything, but then I just like started second thinking, you just start thinking things, and I was just scared, like. And I'm not a big scary cat person. I don't really get scared. And like when I sleep, like my boys sleep with us in the bed. Yeah. So I just hug him, and that's just how I comfort, because I fortunately can't ask my wife and stuff. But that's just like how I do things. No. But I have a lot. I have usually the nightlight on or a TV on.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like I mean.
The nightlight's for the kids. That's what I say.
Not for you.
That's what I say.
He's like, Dad.
It's like, turn off the light, bro. It's like, oh, he's like, you sure? No, but yeah, but like I said, I think I mentioned this before. But growing up, I always had the TV on, always, and I always had Disney Channel on because I didn't want to wake up to something scary.
But do you think something might have happened? That's why you kind of did you ever?
No,
see
I never saw anything. Maybe I'm just.
Or maybe you just blocked it off.
I just blocked it off as nothing, but maybe I did, but maybe I didn't. I can't say because
like growing up, I especially like like I remember growing up in the it was a like Hispanic community, and so they always tell you, hey, like. This kid was playing hide and seek, and this is legit a true story, but they were like, oh yeah, this kid was playing hide and seek, and there's a house in front of where I used to live, and it had like a cellar, those basements, outside, and someone was like, yeah, some kid went to go play hide and seek, and then he went inside there, and we never saw him again. And so like for me, I'm like, that's fucking weird, but did it really happen, or were they just fucking doing that? Were the parents saying that? Just so we don't fucking go out there and play so late, or did it legit happen? And and so things like that, I'm just like, that's kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. But as far as for me, like if that happens, I wake up my spouse, say, hey, can you hug me, or like, hey, like try to tell her my story, what happened, or whatever, or not even really. I just say, hey, I had a bad dream, like hug me.
Dang, I don't even tell that to my. But then I just keep that to myself.
Yeah, and then I just put some. For me, I put music, and which is rare when it happens. It has to be like a really messed up dream, and that's when I put some music on.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Yeah, for me, I just keep it to myself, man. Yeah, I don't even tell my wife the next day or anything like, "Oh, I had a scary dream," or "I couldn't sleep because of this." Yeah, you just keep it to yourself.
All right, bro. What's the other story?
Oh shit! Yeah. So let me get this into. Cool. Oh wait, I already had that one.
What about this one? Death came for him.
You want to hear that one or the mother attracted evil?
This one, just so we can.
Which one?
That one. Death came for him.
Cool. I was standing in my parents' room, talking to my very sick dad at the time. He was dying of stage 4 cancer, and I got the feeling something was behind me. I looked towards the doorway to the living room, and something about 4'6" and fully black is peeking around the corner, with his hands on the doorframe. I ran towards it and slipped back around the door. When I got outside the doorway, there was nothing. My dad was completely confused when I stepped back inside the room. When I tell him, people who stayed at my house in my dad's final days claimed to have seen it. My mom saw the figure on multiple occasions in multiple places until he passed away. We haven't seen it since. I don't know what possesses me to binge, read Reddit, true real life ghost stories about twice a year. When each place I live always has some kind of residential spirit.
That's crazy, dude.
So it's just kind of like the Grim Reaper sort of thing.
It's like that's like he's seen it, and then but then they went away,
after his dad passed away.
Yeah, and I think on that one, like, let's look at it like kind of not the scientific,
but like, let's bring out my glasses. Scientifically speaking, like that.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like that's trauma. You know, your
like your dad's like you think away. It's him like or his whole family going through the trauma, and that's just like.
And so then you start kind of in your head, and you know your brain picks up some stuff, and it's like, all right, well, this part of him, you know, he's going through a loss. Let's just say put this.
But
image.
I mean, let me think about this. Let me just argue with your sense of scientifically speaking, and let's just say if you're thinking about, we're all going through the trauma, right? Because it's a family member that we know of, and we see the trauma. But when we start seeing the same thing,
I guess you're right.
Don't we have to like question it a little bit? Because if we're going through trauma, then we all see our own thing, right? Because I can't see what you're seeing, and you can't see what I'm seeing. So maybe your trauma will be a little different.
Yeah, but
then when we start talking about it, I mean, it's kind of like what we're saying, like, oh, I think he was black, and you're like, oh, wait, yeah, he was black. Yeah. But in reality, you probably saw something, and because me talking about it made you think that way. But then you got to look at also like, I saw this black figure, and he, you know, was just standing there, and then you're like, oh, I saw that too.
That's my friend DeAndre.
but he's like, you start to think like, well, we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
Or we think we're seeing the same thing, so there has to be something, right?
Yeah.
And that's,
I don't know.
And that's spooky for you.
Yeah, that's why for me
spooky.
It's
spooky.
Now for me, I always see kind of, I guess because I try to kind of like certain things, right? Because there's other things, like I remember when we talked about the whole possession and stuff a while back ago, or the last episode.
I don't remember bringing it back up.
And no, I'm good. But you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like it's that portion. I'm just like, well, this and this. I think it's you know. And then there's this where it comes to this topic, and I'm like, oh no, it has to be this reason. Like you had the conversation with your family, so now your family's seeing the same thing, and or they're imagining the same thing, so that happens and shows up, you know. And then I feel like that kind of image sticks with you, and so anywhere you go, you're like, oh man, this person is like someone's gonna pass away from here, and then someone does pass away. So then you're like, well, what's the coincidence of that? What's so rare? You know, like how would it happen?
Now that we're talking about like, we're talking about paranormal and stuff like that, and then you say that we see the same thing, and this is a trauma. You know, one thing happened to me and my buddies when we were in high school. I mean, to this day, we don't know if it was just BS by one of our friends, but we were going somewhere. I don't remember where we were going. I don't think we were going to like the lake or look. I don't remember. We were gonna go somewhere, and we went to the gas station before wherever we were gonna go. We all get off, right? Get snacks, and then two of us go back into the car, and our last buddy is the last one to come in, and he just said like, hey guys, like the person, the grocery or the cashier was like, hey, don't, I don't know where you guys are going, but don't go. That's what our buddy told us. Like the cashier told him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, whatever you guys are doing, just don't go. I don't know if it was like something bad was gonna happen, or
what,
or whatever, you know. And it was just weird, you know. We didn't really think much of it. I mean, we didn't end up going for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But it was just crazy to see. And then, I mean, later that day, we went somewhere else because we were going to go to where I guess we were going to go originally. And I mean, it's stupid to think about or stupid to say, but at the time you're kind of like already on your nerves. Like, why would this person tell us that? And then we just see, and it wasn't during Halloween either. We see this big, tall figure, like tall, walking with a person. And it looks like it was a building or somewhere, but it was a big, like a, you know, kind of like the Grim Reaper, you know, hooded, but it was tall, like it was a big, tall figure, you know. I mean, you couldn't really say like it was a person walking with sticks. I mean, it could be. Yeah. Logically, that's what you would think. Yeah. But at that time, we were like, and we all saw it, so it wasn't like we were tripping. But I mean, it looked just like plain sight, like Like, it wasn't, like, weird at the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not weird now that I'm talking about it. But just seeing that, after hearing that, just kind of freaked us out a little bit. So, I mean, just seeing that tall figure. I mean, like I said, now I just think, like, it was just probably somebody with walking sticks, you know, and walking around. Maybe there was a party or something. But, I mean, that's just me justifying what we saw, but...
Yeah. That's creepy, dude. Well, this is a good way to lead us
2 weeks.
into...
I mean, we pretty much did 2 episodes in one.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm out then.
Yeah, dude.
Did my job. You want me to go to this last one?
Nah, but I think we're good. We're gonna...
Why, dude? You don't like my story?
Dude, you're freaking, bro.
Huh?
Nah, because now we're good, though. We're good, bro.
Dude, let me just tell this last one, bro.
All right, go.
Just this last one. It sounds cool. It sounds my mother attracted evil.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. All right. After my parents divorced when I was a teenager, I lived with my mother. I experienced lots of paranormal happenings. Several times when I was reading in my bed, the room would start to feel really icy. Next, it would feel as if somebody that hated me was staring at me. When I got that feeling, I would leave the room and come back an hour later. Sometimes during the day, I would see a shadow figure sneaking along my bedroom walls. Something in flat was pretending to be my dog. I went in my room and I heard a deep growl from under the bed. My dog wasn't compatible with making a noise that deep. It sounded like either a really big dog or a man doing his best dog impression. Other times my dog would whimper and pace in the room next to mine, but wouldn't come when called, as if he was afraid of something in the hallway. When I moved in with my father, the paranormal activity stopped.
This makes me think like kind of like the Paranormal Activity, the movie, you know? And it's like...
But do you think it's just like him experiencing this, or do you think it's actual paranormal stuff?
Well, no, I think it, like I said, you know, when we going back to the hospital one and this, and then the movie Paranormal Activity is like, you know, the paranormal things are trying to make sure... Let's assume, because they really didn't give much details, but let's assume that mom is very angry, that mom is very like, you know, and so that energy is being attracted and bringing all this spiritual stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what I feel like. If maybe the dad was more like spiritual, where he's like, he, you know, doesn't believe certain things like that. But with the mom, it's just like, she's just very evil herself, you know, like.
But you think the dog, what do you think the dog, because when they say a dog can sense all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like for him to hear like a growl from underneath his bed.
Yeah. But that's what I'm getting at. Is just kind of
crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for spooky. Like I said, this probably would have hit different in Halloween.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but it's still good.
It's still good.
We're bringing it up and pretty interesting stuff on it.
I mean, if we have other people that experience paranormal and stuff, I mean, I don't know if they ever reach out to us, but
yeah. And we got a lot. Like I said, we have our TikTok and not Instagram yet. TikTok, YouTube, just anywhere. Just write on the comments. Let us know what your thoughts and
we'll go investigate for you.
Yeah, we'll make sure it's real.
We'll go investigate.
Yeah,
just kidding. Don't.
No, we really appreciate it. Sorry, this came back in November, but we good. We'll post it all together. I think I'm gonna, we're
gonna take this and post it into separate episodes, bro. Boom.
Okay.
We're not gonna release it till December.
But yeah, no, we appreciate you, everyone, listening to us on TikTok, YouTube, and
anywhere you listen to us. Anywhere you listen to us, we appreciate it.
So thank you.
And anybody that sticks around and actually listens. I mean, this episode looks to be like an hour and a half long. So I mean, if you guys are listening, and if you're not, even though you're a hater, no, I'm just kidding. No, but if because we have, I mean. I know people like always, talk shit just because we're doing a podcast. You're like, or it's just like, why are you guys doing a podcast? Like, like why?
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to listen to it because it's just you guys talk nonsense, And going into that, it's just like, it's probably true. I mean, there's a lot of podcasts out there. Everyone's doing a podcast nowadays, but. I mean, me and CJO just do this just, for fun. And I mean, I personally just hope it goes. I mean, if it goes somewhere cool. If it doesn't, I mean, I like having just these talks, and if people listen, awesome. But I mean, we do appreciate, the few listeners that we have, and hopefully you guys do like our content. So
yeah, stick around. Merch coming soon.
Merch.
So appreciate everyone. Thank you. CJO out.
We'll see you guys in December. Nah, just kidding.
Out.